What's up, guys? This is the Shooters Club episode number 9, and we are on the road today with David and Jerad Hill. We've got a lot to talk about, so we're just going to kind of spitball it. It's a long episode, but thanks for tuning in, and we hope you stick around. Hey, what is up, guys? The Shooters Club is on the road today. This is episode number 9. I am here with David and Jerad Hill.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
So I'm Ross Thomas. I'm a gym owner and amateur content creator based in Modesto, California. David, who are you, man?
I'm a wedding filmmaker and based out of Oakdale, and excited to be here again.
And we're stoked. Jerad invited us to come up to the mountains today in California. We're just crossing over the Tuolumne County line on our way to the Pinecrest area. Thanks for joining us today, man.
Hey,
thanks for driving.
No problem.
Yeah, so basically, we're just going to do a little on-the-road interview style, kind of just roundtable talk as we drive up. Hopefully we don't crash or anything. Fingers crossed. But who are you, man? What do you do? What's your thing?
Right now, my focus is basically my YouTube channels. I have a couple of YouTube channels. Ditch Auto and State of Tech. One is on photography, the other one is on like mobile technology, and so those are my big focus. But I also do video production. Been a photographer for 15 years now, 16 years. Used to do a lot of weddings, and so have a wide range of experience from all of that. But it's just fun. Just love cameras, love the format, and so, you know, whatever keeps me behind the shutter, I'm good with it.
So David and I would say are a little bit more amateur.
Of course.
You have a little bit more experience in the industry, and I'd call you more of a seasoned YouTuber, if you will.
That's arguable.
So Jared's got over 100,000 subscribers between your multiple channels. You've got 60,000. You just passed 60,000, right?
Just passed. I'm at 71,000 on one channel, and I'll break into 50,000 in the next week on the other channel.
Oh, did you go from 60 to 70 super fast?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
December was really fun.
That's crazy.
It was big growth in December. It was pretty great.
So yeah, Jerad does a lot of different things. He does, I would say, on average, a more typical like long form YouTube video where you get a lot more information as opposed to just like little baby features jam packed into a couple different minutes. But if you like to put on a video in your office and like listen and gather a bunch of information, I'd highly recommend him, and we'll put him down in the description below.
Is it reviews?
I do reviews, but it's more like conversational. Like I always like we're doing in the car right now. Like before we hit record, we were like talking shop, you know. And I think that's one of the things that I love about podcasts is like you just talking shop and with your friends and everybody that's listening at home or wherever they're at. And that's my videos tend to kind of feel like that sometimes.
Okay.
I'm calling this episode "Coffee in Cars with Creators." Boom,
Oh,
done.
dude,
I like it.
Coffees, yeah, that's awesome. I like that.
Thanks, Jerry Seinfeld.
Verify the domain before you put this
I
up.
know. Coffee in Cars with Creators.
It's a long domain.
That's a long domain.
I don't want an email address at that domain.
Coffee and Cars CCC.
Yeah.
There you go. Shorten it.
So Jerad, he also lives in Modesto. He lives like 4 blocks away from me.
Maybe less.
It's almost like a straight shot to the west. So pretty cool. He took me out to NAB last year, if you guys remember that trip. Released like a recap of it, and he did it as well. He helped me shoot, and he's also gonna go to NAB. So maybe what if we did like 8 episodes we took instead of flying?
Took the road.
Took the road.
It's a really long episode of Creators.
Exactly.
It's just a 10-hour long episode.
Oh man, we could do that. We could do that in a plane episode. Stick this on the wall or on the window.
Flying out of Stockton.
Oh yeah,
passengers will love that.
I know, right? What do we have next on the docket? Yeah, man. Anything more about you? You're a dad. You like the boosted board. You like the boosted scooter. I got you on the Rurock train.
Yes, you did.
With the matte black helmet.
Yes, you did. Barely squeezed my big head into one of those helmets.
Looks cool, though.
They are cool.
Yeah. Well,
I do want to get into more on how you had that growth.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
later on in the episode once you go through our gear list. And
Sure.
Okay.
how to grow the channels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good advice. What are we doing today?
You know what? You sent me a text and you said we're going up to Pinecrest, so I'm here with you guys. I think we're just gonna go shoot, but you guys can fill me in. I know you guys are gonna create some content for your guys' channels, and I'll just be shooting around. What do you guys do?
I think I'm just going to shoot a couple little videos, maybe. I'm going to test out a new camera, a gimbal, might make, and we'll see when we get there and what we can shoot. But I think that'll kind of dictate it. But I think I'm definitely going to review and get some more footage for the Weeble S gimbal. I actually turned out, I thought, I don't want any more gimbals, but this company sent it out to me.
I want to check that one out. I'm hearing a lot that it's super comfortable. It's nice to shoot.
It is. And I brought an external monitor, which you don't really need, but I'm liking it lately. It's so light. It's so much smaller than that like Feiyutech AK4500, which is amazing and has a huge payload. And you can put a bigger setup on it.
I'm rocking that Ronin S, and I don't even like using it anymore. It's too heavy. It's too big. But it gets the job done. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I sold my Ronin S recently just because I didn't need it anymore, and I had the Feiyutech one for a heavier payload.
Yeah.
But I've been using the Weeble S a little bit more, and it's I like it. I used it the other day in the gym. I can like run around with it, having that like grip that you can take off quickly with the quick release plate, and drop it down low. It's super convenient. But yeah, so I'll do that. I brought the monstrosity of the 105 millimeter out. So
nice.
If you guys need any YouTube thumbnails, we can.
That's right.
We can. They wouldn't even know we're at the snow though.
Yeah, it's just a blur.
It's just a blur behind you.
I like it.
But could look good. So we'll see what we shoot. What are you gonna attempt to shoot today, Jared?
So I've had a lot of requests for like FPV style like shooting videos. My whole thing with my YouTube channel is getting out of auto and shooting in manual mode and getting to know the controls of your camera. And I have a course on the topic and a free course. And so people want more examples of like how do you manage the controls of your camera, like getting around the controls and in situations where you need to make those changes quickly. And so I want to do an FPV style video just to see how that feels, like test that out. And then for my personal YouTube channel, I'm trying to do 40 videos in 40 days because I just recently turned 40.
Craziness.
And so I need to film a video, at least like one for that. And then just enjoy like shooting because like, you get busy and the only time you get your gear out is when you have a job, and then you're like, man, I'm not having any fun I'm having fun doing jobs, but I want to go out and shoot just like we're doing today. And thankfully our schedule's all aligned and we're all able to do this. And
I don't know about you, but I had to build a dresser in our nursery in order. Those are our terms and conditions for coming out here. So yesterday I was building a dresser all day.
Nice.
They say that childbirth and labor is hard, but have you ever put together IKEA furniture or furniture from China that takes 6 hours? I don't know. I think it's kind of a wash.
Yeah, dude. I've assembled. I won't buy anything from IKEA anymore.
This one wasn't even from IKEA.
I have a desk coming in this week.
Desks aren't horrible. I put together an IKEA desk a while back, but this one wasn't even from IKEA, and it still took forever. And I used, biggest thing. Don't use unless you have to.
Screws.
Don't use the like the wrenches and the Allen keys that they give you. Use a screw gun.
Really?
It'll change your life, man.
But if you have a screw gun, don't put it on the setting. Put it on the ratchet setting.
Yeah.
Because that wood is not the best wood. And
wood in air quotes.
Yeah.
It's sawdust with glue.
I needed something cheap, but that could, that looked good though. And something better than what I had. I neglected my office space for such a long time.
Oh gosh, yeah. Mine's a disaster.
Chair,
And you just bought it yesterday, right?
Yeah, literally yesterday. So now, now you guys are telling me don't order from me.
No, it's just the assembly process. Like, it's great stuff. Like, we have some stuff. Our kids' furniture has lasted pretty long time.
My wife's desk is
it's
IKEA.
Putting it all together, and you're like, you have to. It's just a lot of work.
That's why I'm saying childbirth may be hard, but have you ever put together IKEA furniture?
We'll see how it goes.
Definitely not going to say that to my wife, but I'll let you go and take that.
My wife doesn't watch or listen. I'll be like, "Hey Beth, did you watch my latest video?" She's like, "You have a YouTube channel?"
Yeah. Letty, I don't think has listened to one. She'll watch the clips that are on Instagram, but that's it.
Yeah.
Did you see though? I got my wife to start YouTubing.
Yeah, I watched one of her videos.
She's making some videos.
Oh, that's awesome.
She likes to like resell vintage stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you should start making videos, because people are always asking her like how do you find these things? Like, what is it like when you go out looking and hunting for these finds and stuff? And so she's been having fun with it. She's even been editing her own videos.
Really? That's awesome.
It's been awesome.
Is it like an iMovie?
She's been using, she started out using Premiere Rush on the iPad.
Oh, okay.
And then we were having problems with that. And so I was like, let me introduce you to LumaFusion. It's like Final Cut Pro X, but for the iPad. And she's jumped right into it. It's been pretty awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
My mom
ran. You guys can share that.
My mom ran 2 thrift stores for like 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that life.
Oh, nice.
The hunting life.
The hunting life.
Right. Hers was more of the managing life, but the thrift store life.
Nice.
Do you guys want to get into what we're all packing? What we got in our bag?
Yes. So I thought, I was doing my best not to bring too much, and then Jerad opened up the trunk or the back hatch, and I realized, oh, yes, I didn't bring the most gear today.
Yeah.
You want to start, David?
Yeah, I think I brought the least amount of gear. Yeah. So I brought my drone, the DJI Mavic Pro 2.
Oh, nice. I got one too.
Hey,
we got 2 drones.
This is the place I crashed my drone, in the lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Pinecrest.
I'm excited not to crash today.
Yeah, the Autel Evo. I hit a tree.
There you go. Does it have sensors?
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't have them on the side. They were like front and back at the time.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I want to talk about that in the new gear section. Remind me to talk about the 8K 1-inch sensor new Autel Evo.
Oh, I have one on the way.
Oh man,
I was standing in their booth at CES.
It looks sweet, doesn't it?
What's the? Well, we'll get
into
it.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
So in my bag, DJI drone Mavic Pro 2, Panasonic S1H with the Sigma 35 1.4 and D filter. I think I'm just gonna shoot a little mix between photos and some video.
You shoot photos?
I'm gonna shoot some photos. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun for me. It reminds me like how I started shooting photos. It's kind of relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially landscape photography is, I think, the best. It's the most relaxing way to shoot.
Right.
Or content to shoot. So S1H, Mavic Pro 2, and a little Olympus XA2 film camera.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
With a film roll Kodak 400 gold, I believe, and that's it. I think that's all I'm packing. Oh, and the task cams that we're shooting, that we're actually recording some of the podcasts with.
Did you bring the tripod?
And the Benro Aero 7, I believe. And we can throw that in the description, I think. But yeah, Benro carbon fiber tripod to do some. I want to do some time lapse.
Oh, nice.
We'll work on that too.
Fun.
And that's essentially it. Backpack is the. What's the bag?
Peak Design. You bring that one?
Yeah, Peak Design bag, which I am loving currently. It's simple.
You got the blacked out one. I love that. That's so nice.
It has a ton of pockets. It's super comfortable, and that kind of rounds out my gear. Nice. How about you?
I also brought the
most for
the same backpack. I brought the new Peak Design, the all black murdered out like 30L. Yeah, really nice. I brought the A7 III with the let me think about this. The Viltrox 85 1.8, the 24 millimeter G Master, and the Sigma 105 millimeter f1.4, which might be my like all-time favorite lens. I I also brought some ND filters for that, which I might actually make a review on. I want to see what type of footage we can get. 105 millimeters,
What's the thread on
f1.4. It's a 105 millimeter filter thread.
Really?
That's massive.
It's absurd.
That is huge.
It's absurd. That's why I asked you the other day what filter thread was your new cinema lens
Yeah.
for the GH5. But so those, and then I brought. I just bought a new A6600, and I brought the small rig cage on it, which low key, the grip on the 6600 plus the small rig cage, I like more than the A7 III. Like I don't know, it just fits really well in my hand.
Does it bump up the? Is it a bigger grip? Does it have more of
a little bit? Has
it
has a pinky like side to it, so it goes down lower. It's just nice. It feels sturdy. Because those cameras are tiny, but man, the grip,
the grip's underrated on cameras. Once you're carrying it all day, it's like you really start to notice it.
Oh yeah, I talk about it often in videos because
it matters.
Especially since I started shooting Sony a while back.
Yeah, you don't realize what you're missing until they gave it back. But yeah, I brought the Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4 for that lens. So 2 cameras, 4 lenses, and oh man, what else did I bring? I got a DD microphone.
Did you say your gimbal?
Yes, the Weeble S. And I brought an external monitor there too, just in case. Brought my Rurock helmet to shoot some sweet photos. And we're recording part of this on the Dady Connect system, part of it on the Tascam, so that we can have three microphones. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay,
Sweet.
Man.
So I either don't bring anything and then have time to shoot, or I bring way too much stuff. But so I have what I primarily shoot with is the A7 III, but I've recently gotten an A7 R4 as well, and so those are like my 2 mains right now. But the A6600 is like also in my bag, fantastic camera, and so I'm going to shoot some with that because I haven't done a review on it yet, and I really want to, because I think it's probably the best APS-C camera that there is for the money right now.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah.
How much was that, by the way? 66?
It's like 14.
It's 14, but randomly it'll go on sale.
Yeah.
And drop down to like $1,200.
Yeah, like normally right after I buy it.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
I was gonna get it, and then I didn't. And like the next day, it was back up to $1,400, and then I waited a week, and it was back down to $1,200. And I had like hundreds of dollars in Amazon gift cards.
Yeah.
So I just pulled the trigger.
Yeah. So I also have a few different lenses that I brought. Like they're all on the cameras right now. So on the A7 III, I have the 85 millimeter G Master. On the A6600, the 24 millimeter G Master. On the A7R4 is the 16 to 35 millimeter G Master.
Another amazing lens.
Great lens, yeah. And so I also have the Nikon Z6 and the Nikon Z7 in my bag. And I've been shooting with those mainly just like to like learn the platform.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of good grips, though.
Yeah, and also
really
like the
grip?
ergonomics on those. Oh, they're great.
I used to have the D800. I like Nikon. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like I never shot Nikon up until getting my hands on these cameras, and I've really, there are things that I really like about them. And what's funny is they're not the things that everybody else talks about. Like, so I still haven't done any content on the Z7, and so I want to get some stuff out on the Z7 and talk about that camera a little bit. So, and then I've got like a variety of other little things that I brought that I probably won't have time to use, but you know, you just bring things because who knows? And when you're going out with like no plans really, you bring stuff and hopefully you get to use it, because if you didn't bring it, then maybe you wish that you had it. So
it's the 105.
What's the total cameras that you brought, Darren? Is that 5
well, so
yeah,
besides the actual like mirrorless bodies, I have DJI Osmo Action, the Osmo Pocket,
the drone.
I have the the RX-02.
Oh my God.
Right here, I know it's stupid. I've got the I've got the same drone that you brought.
There you go. 10.
Wait, if you counted your iPhone, that's 11 cameras.
I've got the iPhone and the Note 10 Plus.
Oh, 12 cameras.
And yeah, I think that's. I didn't bring the GoPros because, like we were talking before we even started recording. Like we all buy these action cameras that we never use.
Yep.
I still have my last 2 GoPros that I never use.
We were talking about how you buy them right before a trip. You use them on the trip, and then you put them away, and then never use them again.
Dude, they still get you though. Like GoPro is tanking as a company, but they still like sell you on the lifestyle, right?
I
Their
love it,
videos are like, oh,
they look cool.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be paragliding over like the Great Blue Hole or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what?
Mountain
No, you're
biking
not,
on
bro.
the hillside,
I'm gonna be walking 10 miles in the gym today. That's it.
That is a lot of gear. I wonder what you're mainly going to be shooting with today. Do you have any idea, Jerad?
I will most likely be shooting mostly with the A7R4. Well, I want to shoot some very similar photos with the Ace because I need to do a more proper A7R4 A7 III comparison. Because that's one of the things that's really been doing well on my channels lately are like comparisons.
Yeah.
Talking about how I've managed to get some growth on my channel. It's mostly like because I've been comparing things rather than just doing like a video on something specific, and so or like on one piece of gear.
Do you find that I do this all the time? Being a smaller YouTuber, I'm almost afraid sometimes to do comparisons between different brands, different products. Like, I'm finally getting to the point where I feel like I'm willing to say, like, oh, if I was using the 6600, like, oh, I liked it much better than X camera or Y camera, or I'm using
From
this
a different brand.
Yeah, I'm using this gimbal. Honestly, buy this one. It's much better. The other one's trash. Like, I'm afraid to make a negative comparison, as opposed to only pushing the positives. I still will tell the truth, but do you find that
I try not to compare things that probably shouldn't, that would have that much of a drastic difference. That because like most people would be able to see. Well, I mean, I would hope most people would be able to see like if something was really a bad option versus something was the best option. Yeah. So like I'll compare. Like a lot of people might think, oh well, like the A7 III is a fantastic camera. It shoots great photos. It shoots great video. But the A7R4 is the new, and it shoots all that stuff, but 60 megapixel images. But I mean, there's also like a lot of things that the A7R4 kind of like sucks at when it comes to video. Sure. And so, even though it's still use the 6600, even though it still shoots great video, like you hit that record button, and all of a sudden you're shooting on an APS-C camera. It feels like so. It's just.
So you can maybe point out the differences without showing the negative. It's not really a negative, but it's just this is the difference. It's a different,
and there's little trade-offs with things. Like obviously, if they were both great cameras at everything, like why would both of them need to exist, kind of thing. Sure. But it's those, and that's how my videos end up getting to be like 20 minutes long because it's more of a conversation. It's like here's those differences and why those might be important to somebody. Because you can't like go down to your camera store anymore and like, are you going to go into Best Buy and like have a conversation with some dude there about
that doesn't know about
that carries a camera around Best Buy, but like he shoots for fun and probably knows a little bit about the camera, but doesn't have professional knowledge of it.
I wonder if as far as comparison videos, if the more reach that you could get is because someone's not just searching for one item, right? You're getting a pool of people searching for both items. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
It might.
Well, typically that's why people are looking at reviews anyways, right? Not because they're just interested generally in products, but because
like if I'm looking for a lens, I'm like watching every video of that lens. Exactly. Like I'm gonna watch I think I bought the SLR Magic lens, and I literally watched every video I could find on YouTube, and it wasn't enough. So sometimes when I think, there's already enough YouTube content, no, there isn't, because I run out. I'm like researching this product, and I run out of videos. I'm like, I want more. I want to see every little angle of this lens.
I'm dealing with that right now with the A9 II, because I really want the A9 II,
there's no content.
and I'm like zooming around YouTube, like looking for somebody to validate my beliefs inside and I think that's what it is too. It's like we're looking for, and like we're sitting in the car, we're talking about gear and all this stuff, and sharing each other's experience, and we're also validating like our own decisions.
You like the grip, right, on the A6600, right? It makes
like
the camera better,
it
right?
does.
Right?
Yeah, we were talking about all that stuff, and it's like
validating it.
But I mean, that's how we make decisions, or how we want to make decisions, but we don't necessarily like live in that world anymore, where like you just go outside and your neighbor is into the same stuff that you're into, and so you have these, you're able to like talk shop. Like we don't get that like maybe our parents did. When they would go into the shop for whatever it is that they were was their hobby or their interest.
Right. All of that's exactly why I tell people who are tentative on like starting a blog or a YouTube channel or something like that. It's like they're like, there's already so much content out there. They say, why would they watch me? Because they get down the rabbit hole
and there's not enough.
And they just keep going and going and going and going. All right, so let's talk about some new gear. Let's go round table style. What'd you get first, man? You got a cinema lens, right?
Yeah. So I got the SLR Magic Micro Prime MFT mount, 50 millimeter T1.5, I believe.
So it's essentially like an 85 f2.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or an 80
it might
millimeter.
be a little. Yeah, it might be a little.
50 millimeter, 100, because there's a 2x.
Yeah, it's about 100.
Okay.
So I did a ton of research. Watched.
So buttery.
Main thing with the cinema lens, super smooth focus ring.
Oh yeah.
I think it's about 150 degrees on the focus ring. Super smooth f-stop. So comes with the gears already attached. You don't have to attach gears to it. Manual everything, and the thing with the set is all the 50 millimeter, the 25, the 10 millimeter, they're all the same size.
Nice.
Which makes it super convenient when you're out shooting and you have your follow focus on and you want to start switching lenses. Kind of you keep the same weight. You're able to just kind of shoot more fluidly and switch lenses, and kind of everything's the same.
And you're all Panasonic, so
yeah,
autofocus doesn't even matter.
Yeah, terrible autofocus on the GH5. Not that great on the S1H as far as video. So I've been looking for a cinema set just for that works together with my S1H that I can build off of. So SLR Magic makes the Hyper Primes, which are full frame cinema lenses, APO cinema lenses, which I will be building a kit with the GH5, S1H, and just all around cinema lens kit, and kind of just moving away from photography lenses.
Yep, there's no focus breathing and stuff on them, right?
There's focus breathing on these SLR. That's the thing with them. They're fairly cheap lenses. If you guys look them up, they're about $600 for the GH5.
But for a cinema lens,
super cheap for a cinema lens. So it is going to have a couple drawbacks, and I believe the focus breathing is part of that. And I'll be shooting some content with them and trying to see, kind of push it and see where that's at. So yeah, I spent all weekend researching, and it came in last week. And I kind of it feels good. Great weight on it. It's sturdy. So I'm excited to shoot with it. And I got the SLR Magic and variable ND as well, 82 millimeter. And that's the nice thing with all these lenses is they have the same filter thread as well. They're all 82.
What about the full frame ones? Because
they're all 82.
Really?
85 millimeter out, like diameter, but 82 millimeter.
There's a couple brands that did that, and I thought it was a great idea.
Because aren't most typical, like classical cinema lens filter thread size is like 104 or something really
They're
weird.
Pretty large.
Something, but not even like 105, like is on the Sigma I have.
Maybe anamorphic ones are even bigger.
A lot of them don't even have filter threads, though.
You need the matte box.
Matte boxing.
Yeah, you need the matte box.
It's a valid point.
And that's something that I've been going back and forth with shooting weddings. I got to be mobile.
Yeah.
I don't really want to bring a matte box and the whole kit and look like a production. I kind of want to be nimble. So that's the thing with the micro primes, and you know, the ND filter is mobility and being fast, quick on my feet. If I have a matte box, I can't switch square filters. I can't be doing all that. That's more production style.
Okay, question with regard to matte boxes and clients and all that stuff. A while ago, where, you know, when DSLRs started shooting good video, you'd have all these people saying, like, you know, I'm worried that when I go to a client shoot, the client's going to look at this, even though I know it's a really nice camera and it can do the job. I'm worried when they look at this small little lens and camera that they'll think I'm not a professional. Have you run into that? I think maybe that's been dispelled a little bit with mirrorless cameras, but have you run into that with your client work?
Not myself, and I think it goes a little bit with meeting the client and speaking with your client and talking in pre-production and kind of letting your work speak for itself, and you talking to that client and letting it be known that you are a professional, you are going to do the job, you know, and they kind of believe in you at that point. When you really, you know, do a good job at communicating with them on what you're going to be providing for them, they kind of start believing in you more than the gear. So when I do show up with the DSLR camera or the mirrorless, it's not the full-on matte box and everything, and they believe in it, and the final product kind of works out well. So I think good communication with your client, and you know, you can kind of show your worth when you're bouncing back ideas, and you kind of show what you're going to do. It kind of builds that confidence in you yourself. But there is something to do with the matte box and a follow focus. You know, it'll look good, and that's the thing with the cinema lenses. Doing wedding work and doing like more commercial work, I am gonna get the matte box if it's even just for the looks. You know, it'll keep
for the commercial side.
For the commercial side, yeah, because it just does look a little more, you know, like they're getting what they paid for.
Yeah, when I switched from Canon to Sony about 6 years ago, and I went from having like big camera with battery grip and a speed light on top and these monster lenses to a Sony A7S, like people I didn't appear to be a professional anymore. Like the public opinion, like if people used to ask me like, oh, are you shooting for the newspaper or something like that when I was out, like just shooting because the kit was so large.
Like
and then with the Sony, I was more like just an average person out shooting, you know?
Yeah. And I think a little bit has to do now with that everyone knows the quality that even a phone has. Everyone's getting used to high quality.
Sure.
Coming from such tiny devices that it's not that crazy to think like, oh, he's, you know, getting good video from that tiny camera. I think that kind of helps dispel that as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's all I got.
Any new gear for you, Jerad?
So stuff that's relatively new is the A6600 and the A7R4 are relatively new. I've had those both since they launched, but they're newer to me.
How soon after you bought your 6400s did the 6600 come out?
Way too soon. But that also happened to me when I bought my A6300s, and then the A6500 came out.
That happened to me too.
And
Sony, yeah.
the difference was like the A6300 was great, and then the A6500 made it look like a turd, and so. I mean, just, you know, with the stabilization and stuff. So with the 6400 and the 6600, I don't feel so bad because I have a couple of 6400s, but
you're not gonna keep them to use as stationary studio cameras. I think that's what I'm gonna keep mine for.
One of my A6400s is like a top-down camera for like when I'm showing details and stuff like that, and it's like fixed, so I don't have to take it down. I do have an A6400 that I'm probably going to sell because I don't have an extra use for it.
Right.
So, hey, we reached some snow. There's snow on the ground now.
Hey.
Hopefully it's not too cold out there.
So is that on the new gear front for you?
42 degrees, 44 degrees. I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
So just on regards to Sony, and you guys talk about how, you know, new camera comes out and you get it. So why did you do 6400 and an A60? You both did, right? 64.
So
Ross, you did it as well.
For me, it was the screen, having the ability just to quickly see myself without having to set up like an external monitor and all that.
Just the screen, the LCD screen on the back.
Yeah, the better autofocus, a smaller package, and then the 6600, so I can just bring it out like today. I feel confident grabbing the 6600 and not grabbing the A7R4 or A7R3 for my video. And man, the autofocus on these new Sony cameras, their latest generation, the eye autofocus in video. Yeah. I shot in the gym the other day and 2 days ago, and it's astonishing.
I do miss that.
It is just astonishing, man. So that's, and I picked this one up for the IBIS, and it was down a couple $100, and I also had some gift cards. And
you said Jerad sold you on it?
Yeah, he was that validating factor. I was texting.
Why was that? What would you say,
I'll get
Jerad?
those random text messages from Ross, and he's like, so I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, so you made up your mind? You just really want me to green light it for you?
Basically. Yeah, and it's been good so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got that. I had the company send me out the Weeble S per year, send it out to me, and I think I'm gonna keep that. I'm not gonna get rid of it because I really ended up liking it. Other new gear, man, I don't think I've got that much new gear lately. I'm actually starting to sell some gear, which is really nice. Still have way too much.
Yeah.
But really liking that A6600. But I think that's it on the new gear front.
Awesome.
Has there been any news lately in terms of industry stuff? Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this on the podcast, but man, yesterday felt weird with the Kobe Bryant news.
Oh yeah.
I saw that right away. That I slept in and kind of woke up as it was happening, and it was weird, man, to see that all day and how much that has affected people. Yeah, just strange.
It's sad that he was with his daughter, dude.
I know, man. That's
all the photos with her, and you were teaching
I know.
her. I was like, I can't be watching this.
I know, especially when you have kids and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminded me of somebody who died, I think after I was born, was Pete Maravich. He died at about the same age. He was like 40 when he died, but he had a heart attack.
I don't know.
He was, I would say, well, in the NCAA, he averaged 44 points a game.
Oh, really?
44 a game in college, which is just astonishing. But yeah, so it's been a crazy day in the sports world front, which I follow somewhat heavily. And the crazy thing was that LeBron had passed him for third all time on the scoring list the night before.
He had a tweet out, right?
Yeah, and he tweeted out, and that was the last one.
Wow.
So crazy stuff. But in other news, camera news, you had some news, right?
Yeah, we don't have the details right in front of us, but they did announced the Fuji
XT200?
XT200, yes.
Okay.
Nice.
And I think the thing that caught my eye was the 1x1, was it 1080 by 1080 crop on it for video, which was super interesting.
That you can just do in camera.
In camera, square crop for basically Instagram. So
isn't that funny how that's happening now?
Social media leads the way for technology, and cameras are going to cater to what sells and which is
crazy to me, because social media does, but yet we don't have cameras with LTE in them yet, that you can post directly to Instagram. I wonder why that is. Now, you got your phone, obviously, but with so much stuff being shared constantly, you think some company, I know Samsung did it a while back, but you think some company would build LTE into their product so you could share it instantly.
Yeah, I think they have the Wi-Fi.
There were some cameras that actually had Android operating system running on them for a while.
I think Samsung
and they just
had one of those.
Had a little mirrorless camera, and it was probably too early.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
The software wasn't
ahead
good
of the
enough.
curve.
Yeah, the software wasn't good enough yet.
That's an interesting business. It's something interesting to look at for a business. You don't always want to be first to the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's Apple's whole playbook.
Yeah. Exactly. And what other news has been out there lately? Oh, you mentioned a rumor of a vertical sensor.
Oh yeah, there's those images floating around of like a Canon mirrorless with a vertical sensor. Yeah.
Depending on price, I might want that.
Yeah.
Because clients want that portrait work. I know you can flip the camera, but if it's already done for me, it's
That's
easier.
true. Yeah.
I want it to be fast, easy, and get the content out as fast as possible. So I think there would be a market for it. You know, people will clown on it, but if you can sell it, you know, if someone's going to purchase the product, I could probably sell that to a client.
Mm-hmm.
It's fast, easy. I might look into it. Honestly, it sounds funny and it's weird, but that's where we're headed. Everyone wants that social media content.
Sure.
They want stories. They want, you know, portrait. You want to take up more real estate on your Instagram. You know, you kind of want to create vertical content because that's just where everything's leading. It seems like the phones rule the camera world. So
Okay, I have some rumors, but on a camera that's definitely coming out is that red Komodo. Have you seen that, Jared?
I have.
Oh, man, I
I
follow
haven't seen it.
I follow Jerad from Red. He's the CEO or whatever, and he's been teasing this new Red camera coming out. Apparently, and again, I don't have the specs right in front of me, but apparently it's like a Super 35. It's tiny for a Red camera. I mean, it's really small. Apparently, it has the Canon RF mount, autofocus. Now it's their first camera ever with autofocus, right?
Yeah.
So it may or may not work that well, but I heard it has phase detect autofocus on it. Yeah, Super 35, I think a 6K sensor, and just crazy frame rates, great dynamic range, and I think, don't quote me on it, but I think it's like the first Red camera to where you don't have to buy their proprietary media, the mini mags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be like, I think they're probably going to try and sell it as like a B camera.
Did
but
you say RF mount?
Canon RF mount, but I think people are going to.
I dig those lenses, man.
Yeah, they're amazing. So I
They're
think
expensive.
people might
They
use this
are,
camera
but-
as a way to get into Red.
They are, but if you held that 70 to 200, that's like half the length of every other 70 to 200. Oh, it's
nice.
amazing.
They look super cool from whenever I see them.
I spent all summer with the EOS R and that monstrosity of the 28 to 70
F2?
millimeter, the F2. That lens is just amazing.
One thing I do like about the Canon, they have that ND, that mount with the ND in it,
Oh,
built-in ND. I love that.
That was the next thing I forgot to mention, was that because it's an RF mount, they have the adapter where
Really?
everyone already has EF lenses.
Mhm.
You can just use the ND adapter. Their cameras typically don't even have ND filters built into them, but now you can use the adapter and use all your Canon EF glass with
Is
a
there-
built-in ND.
What do you think it's going to be priced at?
I don't know. They're kind of pushing it as, you know, the smaller camera. It's not like their 8K Monstro sensor. I don't know. I would guess
6.
no. It's Red still. I'd probably guess like 10,000
Really?
for the Brain.
Mm.
But then what happened? Oh, and it has a top screen that you can technically use
Mhm.
as the screen, but it's probably not big enough. I guess 8 to 10 grand for the camera.
Interesting.
Yeah, still outside of my realm
Sure.
of like needing or like it being usable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I shoot Sony mirrorless and I'm not shooting like Sony Cinema.
Yep.
Is just because like I'm not producing content that would require that.
Fast forward a year and he has an FX9.
I do want an FX9,
Those
but
are
it's
so
I wanted an
nice.
FS7. I
Yeah.
wanted an FS7 Mark II. I've wanted all of those, but it's like it's not practical for what I do.
I know. I want one so bad.
Sorry.
that S Cinetone profile. It
That
just
looks nice.
just
That
looks-
looks so nice.
It looks so good. I don't know, but you know what? Well, I guess
I think
news.
you're gonna buy one.
I don't know.
You keep talking about
The
it.
piece of gear that I think would look super cool, dude, and that I feel like your channel could totally benefit from is the Edelkrone Jib 1
Oh,
with that-
yeah, I've been looking at it.
with the head on it, like the moves that you can do over products and program
Yeah.
stuff. It can it can hold focus and rack focus and
The amount of times that I've been on Edelkrone's website and like built out a kit and then close the tab.
Yep.
Because I'm like, man,
It's about $2,800 for those.
You know how many things I've bought and not utilized, and I'm thankfully I'm at a place in my life now where I'm that self-aware.
Yeah.
I'm not totally self-aware, obviously, but
12 cameras.
12 cameras. But as far as like spending on gear that I know that would be awesome if I had the time to use it, but I probably won't. Like
For sure.
That's what that falls. I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love it.
I know. I was.
What is that mainly for? Like it's a jib. You said so. It has
It's a motorized. Whoa.
It's two
Ice.
separate parts, right? It has the.
So it's got it's almost like, think of a jib that you screw onto a tripod,
Mm-hmm.
and the jib can be angled here. It can also be rolled,
Yeah.
and they have an optional head that you can put onto it. It all connects to their app, so it can run like highly sophisticated. Almost think of like a camera robot.
Yeah.
It can
Almost
run like
that.
it can run some sophisticated movements
Okay.
with focus pulling if you buy the external like modules and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
All motorized.
Yeah, and you set all the waypoints in an app, and so it just like, and even with focus too. So if you're like with your Cine lens, if you're manually focusing, you like set your in and your out points, and then you just hit go, and it like does the camera move, and it also does the focus pulling for you.
Yeah, and it looks
which is super cool, man. But
the cool thing, one of the cool features I liked of like the head is you can just adjust it manually and press like set.
Is that
move the whole thing, adjust it manually, and press set again.
Is that the one that you can take off? You can put that on a slider, right?
You could, yes.
I think I've been seeing it.
They have a whole system for it
I
now.
wonder if I can take that jib to a wedding. You think that'll work?
Probably.
Shoot a ring with it.
Right?
Oh, it would be a lot to shoot a ring with. But I would go more manual.
Yeah.
I have the pocket jib from Kessler that I bought ages ago, and I've used like 4 times. But you're more than welcome to use it and see if a jib is for you.
I've been trying to break down my gear as minimal as possible for weddings.
And you don't want a jib.
Yeah, even the Ronin is too much right now.
You don't want a jib then.
No, I don't. And you know what? I've been seeing that you can kind of mimic that jib maneuver with the Ronin on a monopod.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm seeing that move, and
but dude,
it's like,
imagine setting up the shot. So you've got like the couple who's going to walk back out from the wedding. You set it up beforehand. Letty does a fake walkout.
Yeah.
And so you got the jib movement that's moving like angular to the side and coming up. The head's tilting down, and all you have to do in the moment is just tap go.
Imagine being at a wedding where you have the time to settle.
You haven't shot a wedding. You have about 3 minutes before, right?
I would go into every wedding with like all these grandiose plans, and then they just go out the window.
Time management is the most important
Exactly.
part of your day.
Yeah.
Right.
Run and gun.
Yeah, seriously.
Any other news out there?
I think that there will be a Sony A7 or A7 IV next month. That's
Really?
just my prediction.
Why is
Next
that?
month. Because it's been 2 years, and Sony has to keep their numbering system at least somewhat normal, even though there's no A7 III yet,
I'm so
or A7S
confused
III.
right now.
But I think there will be an A7 IV next month, or maybe at the latest in March. But it'll probably be
A7
announced
IV?
next month.
What does it have?
So, I mean, it's
Their new autofocus.
It'll have the little bit bigger body like the A7R IV, the nicer buttons. So the ergonomics upgrades basically. It sure better have like 4K 60. I would hope, even though...
Do you think they'll meld the A7S and A7 line then?
I mean, it's possible that they could, because they've been dragging their feet for so long. But I don't know. I mean, personally, I know that the A7S line needed to exist because they needed that small megapixel. They needed the sensor not to be over the top, because you can't have a super sensitive sensor and shoot like 20, 30, 40, 60 megapixel
because they only
images.
had the A7R at the time.
Yeah, and so the A7S only shoots like whatever it was, like 12 megapixels or whatever.
Rocked that for so long.
Because that's all that, if you want that sensitivity, that's all you can do. But things have changed. Technology has advanced, and you're getting A7. I mean, the A7 III goes up to, what is it, 200 and what is it, 204,
And it was
202,
arguably just as good in
Expanded.
low light.
and so yeah, the ISO is really great, and so I that's a good thought that could potentially happen, but I don't know.
So maybe the A7 IV. Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
So I mean, it's early in the year. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of new things,
Sure.
but you know, I'm not holding my breath for like groundbreaking
Sure.
advancements.
Maybe ergonomics.
Incremental updates. But one thing we forgot to talk about on the new gear front, in news and all that stuff, was the new Autel Evo 2 or what it was, the drone. So I reviewed the Evo a while back, and it was a pretty good drone. But they just released at CES their new, and you were there, right, Jerad?
I got to stand in the cage and film.
Nice.
I got some B-roll footage if you want it.
Oh yeah. So it's a 1-inch sensor, probably a Sony sensor, right?
So there's 3 different modules you can get for that.
Oh,
Have
the
you seen
different
that?
cameras.
There's
Yeah.
So it's an 8K 1-inch. It's supposed to shoot 8K. It's a 1-inch sensor,
8K.
and you could pop that off, and you could put a like a FLIR infrared on there.
So it has some business use.
And it has business use as well, or not even just that, but like first responder and all that stuff.
DEA.
Yeah, DEA. And there's another sensor. I'm failing to remember what it is off the top of my head, but there's
It's
three
a 6K.
different.
It's a 6K sensor. The other one, right?
Or no, it's maybe it is
With
a
an
6K.
adjustable aperture.
No, it's a 6. I said 8K. It's a 6K sensor. Sorry,
Okay,
it's not
the big
8K.
one.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
6K sensor.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Wasn't there an 8K?
That's nuts.
Or was it 6K?
I probably should have looked this up first.
On the
But there are 3 different, and they're interchangeable modules. The
One of them
battery
has
life on it is huge.
40 minutes of flight time.
Yeah,
Wow.
like so I was just blown away at
Sensors in every direction.
hmm
So we're going up to Pinecrest. It wouldn't fly into the lake.
What kind of footage does it shoot? H.265?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think
there's no
it's-
raw.
I know.
that
Well, they
of.
did log on the other one.
Yeah,
I would
They have
be,
their own type of log.
I'd be curious if it did H.265. That might be interesting. If they can process 6 or 8K, I think it must have been 6. No, it might have been 8K. I don't know.
It was something
Something
crazy.
absurd. But they might be able to process something like that. But yeah, it looks super cool. I'm trying to get my hands on one too.
So I had to leave. I had to come back home, but they had a trip out to Red Rock Canyon just outside of Las Vegas.
Oh, interesting.
And like I could have gone and flown one and like done a whole thing with them, but unfortunately I couldn't be in Las Vegas for that many days.
Right.
It's awesome.
But that looks super cool, and orange is my favorite color, and they're
there's
real-
a
Yes, I
orange
do
or
like
orange?
orange, and it's a nice orange. It's a little bit of a burnt orange.
Yeah.
It's really nice
Matches
looking.
the Sony look.
Yeah, it's a nice look.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So I mean, if you have your Part 107, or if you're flying sketchy without a drone license and still filming commercially, it'll be an amazing drone, I think. So yeah. Oh yeah, the adjustable aperture.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you don't necessarily have to have an ND filter. Anyways,
I like
I think that's it.
yeah, I think we're getting here.
We're coming to the end of our memory card on our little Yi 4K Plus. Man, it's been fun having you. I hope this audio comes out.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jerad.
Made the trip go by. We're like literally
I know.
driving into Pinecrest, California right now.
Yeah.
Not as much snow as we had hoped for.
Do we want to do anything else?
That's it. You want to do an outro?
Okay. Well, thanks for watching or listening. Again, hope this audio comes out well. And this is episode number 9 of the Shooters Club. Make sure and follow Jerad over on Ditch Auto on Instagram and State of Tech on Instagram. Also, subscribe to him on YouTube. I'll throw all his links down in the description below. And as always, shoot David a follow.
Capture Color on Instagram, and yeah.
And you know where to find us. Make sure and go give the Shooters Club a follow as well. We'll post all this on the Brotographer, but we're trying to build up that as well, and maybe get a little group going in the future where people can talk about stuff. That would be fun, and I guess we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Awesome. See ya.
Peace.